Rajdeep, it's very interesting. We had Mr. Sawant just 5 minutes ago, and he says that in politics anything is possible if they come to Uddhav Thackeray, which is of course Mr. Amit Shah and the Prime Minister, and there could very well be a patch-up.
You know, I met Uddhav Thackeray this afternoon, soon after his press conference, spent a few minutes with him, and I got a genuine sense from him that he wants to be a little bit conciliatory, or wants to somehow or the other find a route slowly, not immediately, but slowly back, perhaps, into the BJP's embrace. The reason I say this is because when we asked him about all that had happened over the last few days, he said, look, if the BJP wanted to give us the chief ministership or give Eknath Shinde chief ministership for 2.5 years, they could have easily done this in November 2019. We would have maintained the self-respect of the BJP and ourselves. They would have also got 2.5 years. Now 5 years, you'll only have Shiv Sena chief minister. So he seemed to suggest that unlike, he wasn't aggressive, he wasn't confrontational, and therefore I got the sense that, who knows, post the BMC elections, I'm not sure whether anything can be patched up before the BMC election scheduled for September, October. That will be, I think, a fight for the real Sena. But if Uddhav is able to triumph in that, then we don't know what lies ahead. If he is defeated by the BJP, then of course I think the BJP will be on a march to conquer Maharashtra along with Eknath Shinde, who I still maintain is simply a pawn in the game that the BJP is playing in Maharashtra. But I genuinely got the sense for the first time today, after meeting Uddhav Thackeray, that he isn't in a mood for a confrontation with the BJP beyond a point. I think that clearly the events of the last few days suggested to me a slightly defeated man who's now looking for a way out.
Well, no confrontation, does that mean reconciliation? Will, as Rajdeep said, we'll only know possibly after the BMC elections. But Rajdeep, the decision of now, coming back to the metro car shed, relocating it back to the RA colony, less than 24 hours, not by anybody else, but by the Deputy CM, Devendra Fadnavis. And it's also interesting because we've seen the kind, since the very morning, if the top cop of Mumbai goes and meets Mr. Devendra Fadnavis before he meets Eknath Shinde. So would we see this whole remote control going down now?
Look, Devendra Fadnavis is a leader who likes to play on the front foot. I think he has been taken aback by what happened yesterday, suddenly being seemingly downsized to Deputy Chief Minister. But every day is a new day in politics, and I think he wants to send out the message that he's still very much around, he's still very much in charge. He's now regularly holding meetings already in the last 24 hours. He's there in Mantralaya speaking to officers he knows well. The RA shed issue is one of those contentious issues between the BJP and Shiv Sena, which is why I believe a reconciliation can't happen overnight. Devendra Fadnavis will push his agenda, will push the projects that were seen to be his pet projects, which he believes the previous government has disrupted. The RA shed is a project which is a divisive project at one level. There are those who would like the metro project to proceed at top speed. There are others who believe that it is environmentally dangerous, but I think the majority would like the project to go ahead above all else. Mr. Fadnavis wants to project his image once again as a doer, even though he's Deputy Chief Minister, whether you call him remote control, but I would certainly say he will clearly have his say. He will clearly see himself as the most important figure in a way in this new Maharashtra government. And therefore, while he's here in Mumbai, playing that role, a reconciliation between him and the Uddhav Sena won't be easy. A lot of acrimony, a lot of bad blood between the two. But should he be elevated to Delhi? There's talk that maybe 6 months down the line, a year down the line, he could be a cabinet minister in Delhi. That could pave the way for a reconciliation. But all of that will depend on what happens in those Mumbai Municipal Corporation elections. My sense is the BJP for now wants to try and expand and capture the Sena's political space.
All right, so, all eyes on the BMC elections. But Raji, before we let you go, one quick question that I want to ask you is, do you see the RA colony issue right now becoming big in terms of something that the Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena faction is going to go to town with in terms of protest? Or do you think, the kind of reconciliatory, at least posturing that you saw of Uddhav Thackeray is going to continue here as well?
No, I think that's one issue on which the two sides have very, very different positions, and they will continue to have it. And as I maintain that while there is a sense that Uddhav Thackeray would like to compromise at some stage, it won't happen overnight. This has been a bitter week for him, the manner in which his government has been toppled, and therefore issues like RA will not be easily reconciled, and they will be part of the election agenda again, building up to those BMC elections. That fight between the Shinde Sena and the Thackeray Sena will be carried forward there, and for now the BJP will choose to support the Shinde Sena, and they will take on the Thackerays on issues like the RA shed or indeed the bullet train, which is another pending project that is likely to be accelerated now.
Appreciate you joining us,
That's
Rajdeep
right,
Sardesai.
pet project of Mr. Modi, and pet project of Mr. Fadnavis is the RA shed.